Hi, folks. Welcome to our 2024-2025 school year strength and conditioning preseason briefing. We're going to go through this relatively quickly. Nice thing about strength conditioning is outside of the facility in the past couple years, nothing's changed and the facility is the same. So we're pretty much going back to business for this winter. We're glad to have folks along with us. And if you have questions, again, always feel free to reach out as we go along through the season. Reminder, we have Plunge. It is going to be a Wednesday, Thursday deal for Cool Schools Plunge. Wednesday is going to be all Maryland schools that aren't Anne Arundel County, and then Thursday is going to be Anne Arundel County. We had to go to 2 days because Cool Schools Plunge is huge at this point, and that's all thanks to you guys and the work that you're doing. If you're not involved in Cool Schools Plunge and you're interested, do not contact Jesse Hayes. I will update that. Uh, Contact Allison Crosscut on our staff, or you can contact me or Tyler. We'll get you guys linked up with the program and development team, and they'll get you guys set up. But again, really good unified experience for your student athletes. It is really embodies that concept of Special Olympics and being brave in the attempt, right? I know I get scared a little bit every time I plunge each year, but totally a great time to get involved with. And the more you help fundraise for us, the more we can help you with things like when you need uniforms and tennis balls for tennis and strength conditioning bikes, whatever it may be. We have a little bit more flexibility because you're helping us grow the budget. If you need help with traveling, I know there's a baseline number of if you raise X number of dollars, Special Olympics will provide a bus to get your students to the plunge. I know busing is a big deal when it comes to everything in schools, so definitely reach out to us if you're interested in this. If you have folks that haven't taken Coaching Unified Sports, it's not a requirement, but we highly recommend you take this training. It's a really good one made by Special Olympics North America. It features some of our own Special Olympics Maryland folks. On top of that, we highly recommend this for anybody that's a new coach, or if you have a student that's acting as a team manager. Really gives them a good idea of what the concept of unified sports is. Reminder on captains. Folks did a really nice job of letting us know who captains are, whether you emailed us or sent it to the link that we have, or you just told us at district tournaments or assessments. Please do so again for the winter season. If you can, when your schools turn in rosters, just put a little star next to whoever the captains are, and we can do the work for you guys. Reminder of what is a captain, what makes a good captain, and why captains are important. And then sportsmanship. I don't think we have a lot of sportsmanship issues. Quite honestly, I think strength and conditioning is one of the least sportsmanship issues that we tend to have because everybody's so excited for everybody. Again, if you have not seen the powerlifting at States, you probably should because it is one of the most positive sportsmanship moments I think we have in all of unified sports. So great job as always on fostering good sportsmanship, and continue to remind your coaches whatever attitude they're going to carry is what their student athletes are going to carry as well. Here's the agenda, business as usual, quite honestly. We'll just kind of run through here and remind you guys of what the game plan is for strength and conditioning. This is me. If you don't remember who I am or haven't seen me in a while, that's me. If you have questions, please reach out. Tyler's been handling and doing a great job with a lot of our paperwork and district level support, so you've probably seen a lot more of him at this point than me. He's allowing me to focus on expanding state level program. We're trying to get more counties involved, grow our state sports overall to make them more competitive. And then Meredith. Meredith will be back. She's going to be mostly working with putting together the tournaments and supporting the sports stuff on the back end. You'll see her at States, but if you have questions and you can't get me or Tyler, you can always reach out to Meredith too. Let's talk admin stuff. This is the page you probably care the most about. First date that you probably really care about is December 13th. We are looking for team rosters on that date. We really need them sooner rather than later. When it comes to team rosters, we need those especially for the winter season because we need to get them into GMS for registration because towards mid-January to end of January, we have to start putting together our census for Special Olympics International. The census is something we need to do to stay accredited, and it's also something we need to do to get funding. Without doing that and turning it in on time, we aren't accredited, we don't get funding, and we don't want that because then it hurts unified sports. So please make sure by December 13th, you guys have team rosters to us. If you have one or two kids that come along, after the 13th, they show up January 5th or whatever, and they want to join, that's okay. We don't have an issue with that. We can add them on later. Don't hold the roster until you feel like you have every kid. Please get us what you have on the 13th. Additionally, January 7th is the second date. It's when we start wanting your postseason competition rosters, especially if you need help setting up your tournaments. And then 2, the rest of your coaches' forms. Again, if your coaches are within their 3-year window, they're good to go. They don't need to update their forms, but they can. Or if you have somebody new, we do need their forms. The additional thing on the 7th is we need to have all of the GMS registration done. Again, we need to start our census. It takes a long time to compile the data, so we need that sooner rather than later. I'm going to update the time and date for this, but the February 14th date should be good for holding our webinar. But I'm going to update that, and I will get you guys a more concise date and a webinar link coming up. February 18th, though, is the right date for our states competition. It's at the Snow Hill Arena. Essentially, what we're shooting for every year is that states will be the day after President's Day. It allows us to load in all the powerlifting equipment while the facility's closed on President's Day, and then have the tournament the next day. Should we get bad weather on the shore, the states tournament will always be the day after. So that's how it goes. This is the main deadlines sheet that you probably want to print off of here to share and have for yourself. The main thing is, again, the student paperwork is due by your district tournament. So you have some flexibility in time. The sooner you can get it in, though, obviously the better. We don't want to be paperwork chasing. If you have questions or if you have any issues that come up, again, essentially reach out to me, reach out to Tyler. We'll get you taken care of. District tournaments, we want them done by February 5th. Again, if you can get them done earlier than that, that's great. It allows us to prep and plan. Again, we have back-to-back state tournaments at the end of every season. So we'll have a bocce tournament, and then we'll have the strength and conditioning tournament. So the sooner we have the data for strength and conditioning, the sooner we can put that tournament together, the sooner we can bounce back info for your coaches to check, so on and so forth. But we want a strength and conditioning district tournament planned prior to February 5th. I know this is something new we've done in the past 2 years, but I think it's been a really good addition to what we do. We'll do awards just like normal and all the normal things that we typically do at the district tournament, but it gives us much better data and has made the state tournament much closer and much cleaner when it comes to results. Resources. If you are looking for strength and conditioning specific resources, there's the link. We have a website. Anything that we post, whether it's a rule book or paperwork or whatever, or guides or videos, will be on there. Questions, again, please let us know, reach out, and send them to us on any sort of registration or the season timeline or whatever. Let's talk slightly detailed registration. We won't go very long on this. Nothing's changed with this. The process is still the same as fall. Students need 2 things: application for participation and the CDW form. Nothing's changed. If your students turned it in the fall, they do not need to turn it in again. They're good for the year. If you have new students that didn't do tennis or flag football, they'll need to do this. Again, the roster page, important parts for the roster mostly. The top section, anybody that's participating with your team that you need at the state tournament that you think needs to have a credential to be on the competition floor should be in this top section. Head coach, assistant coach, student coach, athletic director that's super involved, paraprofessionals, They're the folks that will get a credential. They can be on the competition floor. They will get a lunch based on being on the roster. Uh, the roster itself, which you guys are very good at following and filling out, their name, their date of birth for the athlete or partner, their role, whether they're an athlete, partner, or unified partner, IP 504. And additionally, we're going to update this form soon. But if you can put a little note either in the name section or date of birth or whatever of their preferred gender, that is one thing that the LSS managers need to put them into GMS, especially if they're registering a new kid. Typically, we can guess on a name based off of general assumptions, but we don't like to do that. We don't want to assume in that gender category one way or the other for somebody because it might not be what they prefer, and we want to respect their right to have a preference. Again, reminder on the Class A paperwork for coaches, team managers, so on and so forth. They're good for 3 years, but we need the stuff that's coming up. Super simple. We're trying to condense this down as much as we can. Part 1 is the volunteer application and the CDW form. You can find them both on our website link there. You can pull them up, print them, fill them out, or fill them out electronically and send them to Tyler Harrell. We'll get them processed from there. The one thing that's kind of changed, and it has actually become easier in our opinion, is we need to use the Special Olympics Learn portal for doing protective behavior. So if you haven't done protective behaviors through there yet, you will have to go in, create a login, and go and do it. With that said, if you go and do that, you now have access to all sorts of free trainings provided by Special Olympics International, North America, all over the place. So it's really giving you access to a lot of good coaching resources that other coaches just don't have access to. So very valuable, good to have a login. Please do it in that process. If you have questions, ask Tyler or me. Komar stuff. Typical song and dance on Komar. We won't take long here, but we want to cover it for sure. Main stuff with Komar is we do not enforce Komar. Only MPSSAA does. But we keep an eye out for it just to make sure athletic equity is happening and unified sports isn't, interfering with MPSSAA regulations and stuff. We don't want students or schools being out of regulation based on unified sports. So the biggest issue that I've seen in the past few years was somebody doing indoor track and field that did outdoor track and field. It was resolved internally. No big deal. Everything was okay. With that said, I don't believe there's an issue, but you may want to check with your athletic directors if they foresee an issue of somebody doing strength and conditioning and outdoor track and field. It could be construed as indoor track and field for unified sports. It's not what it is, but if you have a concern for a unified partner or an athlete that's doing outdoor track and field, might just be worth an ask. Otherwise, there's no real equivalent when it comes to strength and conditioning. Again, we have 12 districts. Baltimore County is now on year 3 or 4. They're doing a great job along with everybody else. Again, program continues to grow. We continue to actually attack the counties that aren't participating yet. So ideally, in the next few years, we're really hoping that everybody's involved in unified sports in some sort of way across the state of Maryland. And if the more you guys can help vouch for the positive experience that you guys have with the counties that aren't involved, I think the more likely we do get them involved. We're going to talk competition stuff. Nothing here has changed for strength and conditioning. So we're going to go through this relatively quickly. But if you have a specific instance of something that you have a question on, let us know. Again, 18 to 16 participants on a team. If you have 17 or more, you got to do multiple teams. I think folks have done that pretty well over the years. And then here's the events. Again, as usual, you can pick one event from Group A and one event for Group B for each participant. Nice and easy, real simple. And then again, you can have 2 pairs in the PT series at the end. That's it. That's really the whole sports and competition update. I will just do a reminder, even though we did this last year, we are no longer converting things to kilos for powerlifting. We do have pound plates in our trailer. We are going pounds for everything. You guys don't have to convert anything anymore. We don't have to convert anything anymore. We realized that there is no high school gym or powerlifting facility for school age students, probably in the country, that has kilo plates. They're all pounds for a reason. So, um, let's just hop to some reminders. Again, recruit, recruit, recruit. That's always a big thing. If you're having issues with recruitment, let us know. Everybody should have recruitment posters that Tyler sent out during the summer. But again, if you have questions about recruitment, or we're having trouble in this school, how can we finesse this roster if we need to? Or, hey, we have an idea for recruitment that's working here. Can we implement it here, here, and here? We need X, Y, or Z. Let us know. We're always looking for more recruitment ways to get students involved. If you have a need for uniforms or equipment, two-step process as usual. One, talk to athletic directors or athletic supervisors. They should have budgets prepared for unified sports, just like all other varsity sports. With that said, if for some reason there's not money in the budget, or there's an issue with something and you really, really need something, reach out to me. We'll see what we can do. Special Olympics doesn't have an unlimited budget, but we'll do our best to help you. And again, the more you guys get involved in Cool Schools Plunge, the more our budget grows, the more we can help you out with stuff. Stationary bikes. They're somewhere in that 100 to 150. This Target bike is the one that we are using right now. I actually have one of my own home that I'm using occasionally. I won't lie to you, pretend like I use it all the time. But this is the best one that we found. The main thing that makes a bike eligible for strength and conditioning is that it measures distance, quite honestly. As long as it measures distance, you can keep time on a watch or something else. That's all that matters. Jump ropes are the other important thing. Otherwise, everything else for the most part should be available to you guys. If you guys need help with the shuttle run blocks, we can help you find those as well, but that hasn't come up in a while. Uniforms, same song and dance. This has not changed forever and ever and ever. Unified Sports pill logo needs to go on the chest, the sleeve, or the back of the neck for all uniforms. Then it can have your school name or your mascot logo or whatever on the front or the back. That's it. We didn't cover every soup to nuts detail in the rule book. If you want to go through, you can go and check it out. Has all the info on each of the individual events and reminders for those. Again, reminders on uniforms too. We don't want students showing up in Crocs or Hey Dudes or slides or whatever it may be. That stuff is fine to wear to competition, but not at competition. We want closed-toed athletic shoes for all events. And we want to make sure that they're dressed appropriately for training and competition. Additionally, if you have any issues with a student that has additional needs or additional support, reach out and let us know. We are flexible within the window of not disturbing competitive equity, but supporting and meeting students where they're at, right? That's the business we're in. That's what unified sports is. We want everybody to have a good experience, but we also want them to have an equitable experience. So again, communicate. That's always our biggest thing, and we want to communicate to you guys. So thank you again for everything you've done this fall season already. Thank you for everything you will do in the winter season. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out and let us know. Until then, we'll see you guys soon.